Yay. Play a little something while I'm waiting on you guys to get on. You can hear the words. Good evening, everybody. It's Healing Tuesday mixed with our 3-day challenge of redeeming your fatherless story. But I'm tired of being left behind. I don't want make sure it's on there. To be this bitter person. But every time they come around, all this anger rises up in me. And deep down, I just really want to grow. So Lord, help me to forgive. That's what we're talking about tonight. Yeah. I need to be made whole. This grudge that I've been holding, I don't want it anymore. So Lord, help me to forgive. Yeah. Please help me to let go. You guys see the new branding? Do you like it? I told y'all I got some surprises coming. I got some new stuff coming. So this is Healing Tuesday wrapped into our redeeming our fatherless story combo deal. And I'm playing a song about forgiveness. Hopefully you can hear the words. Earlier I had it up kind of loud. I don't want it too loud where you can't hear me. But and we are, this is on YouTube. It's on the Fatherless Generation Foundation page, as well as Tired of Being the Victim. Yeah. And then it's on the I've Got Daddy Issues page. We're still working out. Hey, Cherie. We're still working out some of the technical stuff, trying to figure out how to make me an admin in my own group so I can broadcast from StreamYard. So I'll have that fixed tomorrow. You like it? Good. And we've got one for I've Got Daddy Issues. It'll come tomorrow. It'll be a part of the thing tomorrow. So we're just, yeah. Tonight we're going to talk about forgiveness. So I want you to hear some of this song even while I'm talking to you. The grudge I've been holding, I don't want it anymore. Yeah. Hey, Catherine. Everyone knows. Oh, and I don't want to be more like you. It's your love and grace like you do. And I know that I can't do it on my own. So help me to forgive. Help me to let go. Lord, I can't do this on your own. Y'all been trying to do it by yourself, and it's why you are still stuck. We're going to get you unstuck. Help me to forgive. Help me to let go. Make free of this. I need to be made whole. Isn't that what we're looking for? We're looking to be made whole. Made whole. That means you got to let go of the grudge. And people are like, Tori, I'm here singing. This is one of my favorite songs. Like, seriously. I don't even think it's on anybody's album. Help me to forgive. Help me to let go. Because I remember that I was sinking deep in sin. Far from the Cherie, that's my superpower. Stay within and sinking to rise no more. Yeah. The master of the sea. Gotta forgive y'all. She gets into a whole. And because this is not on someone's album, we don't know the words. My friend Patrick and I are trying to sing this together. We don't know the words. I've emailed the girl. Don't know the words. But I know that word. Help me to forgive. Help me to let go. I want to be made free of this. Because I need to be made whole. This grudge that I've been holding, I can't hold it no more. To forgive and help me to let go. 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 I'm going to help you guys let go tonight. I even have a special guest coming on with me, so I better get started. So let me turn this down. I am so grateful to have you guys on tonight. I see Cherie and Catherine. I know people watching the shadows. I see it in my insights, so I already know. I am Dr. Tori J. I am your fatherless reunification expert and healing coach. I am not a therapist. I'm going to keep telling y'all that on here. I am not a therapist. And I think it's very important to tell you that, because sometimes people are like, oh, she's a therapist because she's a doctor. That's not true. But I want you guys to come on here knowing that tonight I'm going to continue from what was discussed in the I've Got Daddy Issues room this morning. We're going to continue to talk about identifying our father wound and the next steps to walking out, identifying and acknowledging it, going from those places to actually healing it. Now, this is what I want to happen. I know this is the Fatherless Generation Foundation page. I do understand that, but this is what I also understand. So many who are dealing with alienation, so many who are absent fathers, whether you were absent because you chose to be or absent because you were forced out, many. The number is high. I'm not going to sit here and try to give you a number. I'm not going to be like, it's 90%. I don't know the answer to that, but I know the number is high. When it comes to those three things, or you're a single mother, I know those four things, more than likely, highly possible that you grew up fatherless. And in growing up fatherless, these things are now playing out in a cyclical form, dysfunctional cyclical form in your life, and you don't need it anymore. So I need you to set aside all of the court stuff. I need you to set aside all of the Marxist, feminist. Somebody posted that on the prayer this morning from yesterday. I was like, what? This, like, posting that in such a holy space is ridiculous. I need you to set that aside, and I want you to focus on your own healing in this moment. We can talk about all of that other stuff on Thursdays as I get Help Is on the Way back off the ground. But I want, and you can talk about it in some of the other posts in the memes that are posted on the Fatherless Generation Foundation's Facebook page or Instagram or whatever that is you choose to do. But tonight, I want you to focus on you. I want you to focus on you as a single mother. I want you to focus on you as a fatherless adult child. I want you to focus on you as a father who's been fighting to be present in your children's lives. I want you to focus on maybe you did make a decision to be absent, and now you're trying to figure out, what do I do? How do I make that change? And I don't know how I need to do that. I want you to focus on you, because with all of the other stuff, it gets so muddled, and you can't focus on you. You can't focus on the part that really needs the healing, right? So tonight, that's what we're going to do. I know in I've Got Daddy Issues group, for those of you who are not in the group, you're going to get more information, more interaction, more stuff, homework to do that's going to help you redeem your fatherless story if you want to join the 3-day challenge. You're going to get more of that. I know Cherie and Catherine are in the group. Ladies, can you tell me how, are you enjoying the interaction? Are you enjoying the engaging posts that are in there? Are they helping you see some things that you didn't see before? Give me just what you're thinking about what you started seeing this morning. Just comment, give me some information on what that is. I want to see where things are. Catherine said, absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. And then Cherie said, yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Okay. I've been working on this. You guys are my pilot people. As I get this going, I'm going to keep building that group. And Cherie said it's thought provoking. Good. And I want it to provoke thoughts. I'm not trying to get it to trigger people per se. I want it to cause you to think about where you are, to think about how you need to make those changes, and to go from not from thinking about it to being able to acknowledge, you know what? I do have a father wound. I didn't think I did. No, absolutely, Cherie. I don't mind. No, one of the reasons the group is private though, is because it's, I want people to feel safe, right? And so you can copy and paste those from wherever and put them on whatever page you choose to do that. I'm fine with that. Oh, wow. Catherine said, very cool. My daughter is healing as we are 4 generations. So seriously healing. I know you and your daughter, Catherine, are doing this together. And it's pretty cool to even see that. That is what we're all about. I'm about healing generations, right? That's what we are. Fatherless generation. Hello. Cherie said, applied knowledge is powerful. Absolutely. And that's what we're here to do. Hey, Yanni. Oh, Dayani is on. See? And Cherie has her daughter. Now, Catherine, that's the other thing. Cherie's daughter sometimes gets on before she does. And I've known Dayani since she was, 9? She's 19 now? Something like that. Like, it's crazy. But some of the things that we posted in the I've Got Daddy Issues page, all you have to do is request to be on the page, or in the group. I'm sorry. All you have to do is request to be in the group, and you get access to I've Got Daddy Issues, Redeeming Your Fatherless Story Challenge. It's a 3-day challenge. It started this morning. There are things in there, memes in there. There's journals in there, or a place to journal that's in there. What else? There's questions in there. There's comments on there. Oh, she's 16. Okay. Oh, you said it was about since she was 6 or 7 or 7 or 8. Oh, Jesus. Okay. So it has been 10 years almost though. Okay. Catherine said her daughter's 22. See, this is what we're all about. We may not have gotten what we needed, right? But we're going to be damn sure our children get what they need. They need it. And so that they are not the ones who are still repeating the cycle. I am honored and blessed to have Dayani and Catherine's daughter being a part of this challenge, so that they do not repeat the cycles that have been handed down to them. That is what this is about. And so go into that group. It's a free challenge. It does not cost you anything. I am going to talk to you about the coaching that I provide and services that I provide. That's going to cost you something if you choose to sign up. But this is all about you getting the healing. And I give you a lot of stuff for free. Even one of my girlfriends like, girl, you got to start charging for stuff. I do charge. But it's that next level, right? I'm showing you who I am so that you can know, are we a good fit? Should I even reach out to her and ask her for coaching? So we've talked about in the I've Got Daddy Issues group, we talked about 6 signs that actually identify that you have a father wound. Those 6 signs are: you feel unworthy, you have dominant behavior, that's an independent behavior, you have low self-esteem, needing to achieve success at any cost, and codependency. I need you to realize that a lot of times when people have these signs, these are really trauma responses. And that's what we're going to get in tomorrow in the I've Got Daddy Issues page. But I'm on here on Healing Tuesdays doing some healing work with you that corresponds with the work that we're doing. I didn't think that I would combine the two, but I don't have time with all the homework I have going on, to be honest with you, to do I've Got Daddy Issues and all of the memes and the conversations that I need to have in that page and be prepared for tonight. So I hope that this is helping those who are part of Fatherless Generation Foundation and their loving Healing Tuesday and getting this group going back again. I even have our new StreamYard. We did I guess this is called, what is this called? A lanyard? What is this called? Overlay. I did the overlay. I've got some other stuff going on and I'm super excited. I'm like taking it up a notch, right? What did you say? Type A and then you said LOL. I'm not even sure what that means. I missed something. Clearly I missed something. So we're combining the two, and then these are trauma responses, right? But I also wanted you to realize that let's go to this dominating behavior. No, I'm gonna back up. Because I like to jump the gun a little bit. When we're looking at low self-esteem, I also want to add self-criticism and self-hatred, right? I want to add that there. And I want to also add in the space of needing to achieve success. Oh, type A personality. Yes. Got you. Got you. I want to add in the needing to achieve success, that's that imposter syndrome, needing to achieve success. That's also performance based. We're going to talk about that a little bit as well. And so now that we've done the work earlier today, talking about identifying our father wound, and we went through some of the places. We identified the place where it started and how it started, right? So now what? You've acknowledged, you identified it, you're acknowledging it. And so now what must you do? Now you must initiate your healing. Initiating the healing is starting to do some other work, right? You're no longer in a place where you're going to avoid it. You're not avoiding it. A lot of people avoid it. You're no longer in denial. You're no longer allowing the 4 barriers that we talked about, which is pride, sin, lies, and the wound itself. You're no longer allowing those barriers to keep you from where you need to be in identifying the wound and moving forward into your healing. Pride is going to stop you from healing it. Sin is going to stop you from healing it. The wound itself, if you're constantly, perpetually in the wound, thinking about the wound, dealing with the wound, and we're talking about father wounds tonight, ladies and gentlemen, if you're there, it's gonna keep you from actually accessing the healing that you need. That's that story, that's that narrative that you keep telling yourself. And, or the lies that were told to you or that you told yourself. These things are keeping you from healing. I want to talk to you really quickly about the lies that were told to you and the lies that you tell yourself. Lies that were told to you are things like your daddy's no good. Your daddy's a deadbeat. Your daddy is an alcoholic. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. Your daddy was abusive. And when he wasn't abusive, you're being told that he was abusive. And these things start to make you begin to second guess who you are, because guess whose DNA you also have? Not just your mother's, you also have your father's DNA. And that makes you question, who am I? Am I like my father? Am I going to be abusive towards my children? My mother said this is the person that he is. So if he's that person, could I potentially be that person? We're not even talking about the things that you've actually experienced. We're not even talking about some of the things you've experienced with your mother. And it makes you go, I'll never be like my mother. I'll never be like my father. You're sharing those things. And we talked about that as well in the I've Got Daddy Issues page. What are some of the vows that you made with yourself growing up that you would never, ever, 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 ever do? And now you're living in that cycle. You're living in that pattern. Much of it is identifying the fact that you have a father wound. I want you to realize that in most cases, the lies that were the things that were told to you about your father were told to you from a perspective that may not totally be rooted in truth. I'm not going to call your mother a liar, but I'm not going to say that it was totally rooted in truth. And then the things that you've told yourself, you've got to realize that these things are from a child's perspective. The things that you believe about your father are from a child's perspective majority of the time. And if you've tried to reunite with your father in your adult life, you didn't have the help that you needed, those moments and that reunification or those conversations, they were compounded, or the trauma was compounded because you didn't have the help that you needed. And you were going in loaded with lies. Loaded with lies. You cannot heal yourself in that manner. Those are barriers that are going to keep you from the healing that you need. I want to talk to you about when we talk about some of the 6 ways that you can identify that you have a father wound. When we talk about success, right? What I recognize when I do post on social media around fatherlessness, the emotional, the mental, the physical, and the spiritual development issues, many mothers jump on and say, well, my children, they're amazing. They have great jobs. They've gone to college. They did this. And that's wonderful. I'm not here to refute that at all. I'm not here to say you're nothing because you're fatherless and you weren't successful in any way. That's not what I'm here to do. But I do want to tell you that you can't heal drowning yourself in work. You can't heal drowning yourself in being busy. Work is not the barometer to success. It is not. Success and wealth and riches encompass career. Yes, I'll give you that. Financial, right? Because your career gives you the finances that you need in life. But it's spiritual, it's emotional and mental, and it's relational. David said, amen. All right, I go with that. It's not about all of that. But what happens with fatherless individuals is we lean really heavily to our strengths, which happens to be performance-based, which happens to be the fact that we are great at our careers and we have stuck it to our fathers and shown them that we can get it done and we can be successful and we can go to college and we can do all of these things. We've shown that to our fathers. And so therefore we're like, I've shown you something. But work is not the barometer. We can get a lot of accolades at work. We can be the employee of the month. We can be all of these things. People can say how great we are at work. But when we go home, what does that relationship say? What does your relationship with your spouse say? What does your relationship with your children really say? What does it say? Because I'm going to tell you, those relationships aren't really where they need to be because your father wound is speaking. Your relationships are your barometer. I want to give you an example. Let's talk about this dominating independent behavior. That was one of the 6 signs that you have a father wound. So often women become super independent when they grow up in a fatherless home, partially because of their mother grooming them that way, making sure that you don't ever need a man because I lost a man and I had to struggle and I had to fight, right? And so you've dealt with some challenges, and so you don't want to be that person. That independent, dominant, masculine behavior. We all have male, and let me say this, male and female, we all have feminine and masculine energy in both of us. We all do. It's testosterone and estrogen. It's in all of us, okay? But sometimes it's groomed on a different level when you come from a single parent home, especially in the girls. Their mothers are grooming them to be super dominant. And men, you guys in a single parent home are being groomed to be super feminine. So ladies, when you meet a man and he grows up in a single parent home and you're trying to figure out, why are we having this weird struggle? He seems to be an alpha male, but he's not when it comes to decisions. He's not when pressure hits, because he's been in a position where, hey, he was taught when pressure hits, go effeminate, right? Then you get a man and try to be over masculine. Yeah. And that's where we're about to go. You not only get a man, when you have this dominant, masculine, independent energy, many times you're going to attract, ready? Emotional, unavailable men. I'm not dominant like that. I can be. I've watched myself get there, but that's not my normal nature. So I don't typically attract mama's boys. That's not who I attract. It's happened, but it's not. Okay? So this independent thing, when they're unavailable, emotionally unavailable, you got to ask yourself, well, what did I put out here that's making this real in my life on a regular basis? They're withdrawn. Many men are like that because their mothers groomed them that way. Their mothers groomed them to be that way. Oh, I see my guest in here too. Hold on. I got a couple more things I need to say before I get to you. I'm getting excited. And so you got to be clear to work on that part of you. Yeah, woman of God, you strong. You this. You all of that. But you're not soft in any way. That was one of my fights, like in my marriage, is I always wanted to be a lady, but there were moments where I had to realize that I was exerting, and I told you guys this during our conversation about living with a mama's boy and raising one that we did earlier last year. I was putting out this masculine energy because there was times when my husband would shrink back and I needed him to step forward. But how about we got to realize that submission is on both sides. It's not just for a woman to do. And it's that whole idea of where I'm weak, he's strong, and where he's weak, I'm strong. And so there are times when I need to step up and be the decision maker and I need to do that. But that's not all the time. And that's not over one particular situation. When I'm stepping up, being strong, my husband needs to be coming in and strengthening some of the areas where he's weak. And I need to be strengthening the areas where I'm weak as well. It's not just sitting back in the cut and just saying, well, I'm weak in that area and that's just what it's going to be. No. Because there's too much role reversal happening in the area and space of relationships when you come from fatherless homes. That's all you know. All you've seen is role reversal. Your mother was the mother and father. That's what she was. Not really, but that's what she said. Right? And so too often our unhealed selves, we're seeking out the same dysfunctional dynamic we grew up with. The reason that's happening is because our subconscious is in the driver's seat. Our subconscious. We say that's not who we are. But what do we really believe when we get quiet? I did a meditation with you guys earlier, and we'll do it tomorrow as well. This is Healing Tuesday, so I played music to recalibrate and get us aligned, and sang a little lullaby to you a little bit. But we have to realize our subconscious is in the driver's seat. And until you know what you're thinking about, you won't really realize what beliefs are driving you, what wounds and traumas are actually driving you to be who you think you are. I got to put some quotes on here. I was listening to a message by Stephen Furtick while I was walking Tokyo. I do a lot of podcasts and listening to messages, and he said something about performance based. And I'm going to put it on this page. And I've got daddy issues tomorrow. I got to carve it out and type it out and put it into a meme. But I want you to know that what you believe is what's creating the life that you're living. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. I need to give you points too. I'm sorry. Number one in this step is you have to initiate your own healing. That's number one. Number two, you've got to walk through forgiveness in order to change your belief system. There's some initiation, but there's also some forgiveness that's got to take place. You got to release some things. And many of you have not released anything. The number one thing you got to do is release yourself. You got to release yourself. You got to forgive yourself. You got to stop blaming yourself for why your father wasn't present. Even if your mother told you that was the reason. She lied. And you got to forgive your father. That's number two. But number two is forgiveness. But number one and number two is forgive yourself, release yourself, stop blaming yourself. And number two in that is forgive your father, release your father. And number three, forgive your mother, release your mother. Release it. Let them go. The first step to forgiveness is compassion, right? Compassion comes from accepting our fathers for who they are and for who they aren't. And you don't allow the story that was told to you, as I said earlier, or the story that you told yourself from a child's perspective to continue to have the leading role in your life. You're done with that. You're done with that. I need you to realize that sometimes forgiveness is going to require you to reach out. It's going to require you to make a call, make a visit, write a letter, ask some questions. Even if your father's passed on, you can write this letter because that's where we're going. Forgiveness looks like letting a criminal out of prison, although he did the crime. That's what it looks like. Not because they're perfect, and maybe they're not even, or don't even know that they should be remorseful. This is why forgiveness is so hard. This is why it's so hard. Because the person may not even know that they need to let it go, or that they need to have they don't even know that they have an issue and that they need to tell you, I'm sorry. Some of you haven't gotten that from your father. Some of you haven't even, and you're not going to get it. You're going to hold them hostage. In holding them hostage, you're holding yourself hostage. I looked up something. What does forgiveness look like in the Bible? Some of us say forgiveness in the Bible looks like confession. That's salvation. I'm going to correct some things tonight because I had to think about it myself. Be kind and compassionate one to another, forgiving each other, just as Christ forgave you. For if you forgive other people when they sin against you, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. I want you to realize that forgiveness is it's not salvation. It's not about a confession. There is scripture that talks about confess your faults one to another, that you may, forgive one another. That's true. But forgiveness doesn't require a confession. Forgiveness is divine. It just requires you to just let somebody off the hook. Forgiveness and reconciliation are also two different things. Stop assuming because you forgiving someone that means you let them back into your space. Forgiveness is hard because you're letting someone who did you wrong. You're letting a criminal off the hook, although they've done the crime. I'm going to bring someone in tonight. Let me see how I do this. Let me see how I do this. I'm going to change this out. I'm going to go here. I hope this works right. Yes!
Hey!
Hey. I got all my banners up. See, I got my new branding. You see it? I got it up.
Yeah.
I got it up. So, you guys, I wanted to bring this person on. This is Darren Johnson. And I wanted to bring Darren into the room because Darren and I have been doing some work since March, April?
Before then.
Okay. Oh yeah, you won the challenge. You won the.
I won the challenge during Christmas time.
Yeah, Darren won. He won the 30 days. That's true. He won the 30 days of coaching, and Darren has stuck with the coaching. So we started it up in February finally because we were able to get some other men in the room. Now it's Darren and I solo again. But it's okay. But that gives us more one-on-one time. So I wanted to bring Darren into the room because Darren and I are going to talk to you about Beyond Fatherless coaching, some of the work that he's done in this space of forgiveness, identifying his wound, not only his father wound, but his mother wound, and how that's worked and impacted his fatherhood. So Darren, I don't know. I'll let you start with whatever you want to talk about concerning this. And then I'll ask some questions.
My journey.
Yeah.
And when people say that life is a marathon, it's not a sprint.
Yeah.
It's real. And I had to realize that, people that know me, I'm a movie fanatic. So it's not like that scene in Shrek where you're talking about the layers of the onions. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm taking layers and layers, and it's not just on the surface of the stuff that I did wrong, because there's some stuff that I did wrong. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's some stuff that I lost control over, but just understanding the why now.
Yeah.
And just understanding, hey, it was sometimes you just do it because that's all you know. And I've had to dig deep with, hey, I got dad issues. My dad was there. I mean, that he was my Superman, but he was kind of a step back kind of guy. And my mom was the exact opposite. My mom, she was a hellraiser. So, and as I grew older and started going through the part of my journey where now I'm the adult and now I'm the father, there's some stuff that I just didn't quite get from either one of my parents. And when it became time to really have those talks with them, sometimes they're not around, and both of my parents are deceased. Yeah. So I have to take that challenge. I have to take that motherhood and fatherhood wound and say, look here, I got to let it out, talk to the man upstairs. I'm like, hey, mom, dad, I know you're not here in the flesh, but I know you hear me. And it's been some good times. It's been some bad times. Yeah. It's been times where it's tears of joy, and there's been times where it's tears of of happiness. And that's the journey, y'all. It's not always going to be roses. And it is like a roller coaster where you are happy and sad and happy and sad and up and down and left and right. But you have to maintain the course,
Right.
no matter how hard it is. And it is hard.
Well,
And
let me ask you this though. Let me ask you this, because we've done some work.
yes, we have.
And you talked about, initially we were on here and we had some other individuals in the group with us, and both of you at the time, there was conversations happening in this men's group where your fathers were both there but emotionally absent. What did that train you to be as a man and as a father? How did that play out in your relationships?
Eventually I started doing the same thing because that's all I knew. That's all I knew. I didn't have the dad, or really both of my parents. They sometimes I wonder how I got here, because they were just truly opposites attract, truly. And when I got older, I truly started to exhibit a lot of the traits of not just my dad, but my mom too.
Mm-hmm.
And it was difficult. And then in the beginning of the coaching sessions, it was, all of that raw emotion and the raw anger. Well, I'm blaming you.
And I was like, pause, stop. Mm-hmm. Right? Because you were in the midst of a divorce and
yeah.
a custody battle in that. Like when we first, you were in the thick of it. You're now divorced, but there's still some challenges, as always, with the exchange and the custody stuff. But let's go to the mom wound. How did the women that you were, because let me also say this, Darren had been a single father of his oldest child for 11 years before even getting married to the current divorce situation. And so how did the mother wound, perpetuate the types of women that you were drawing into your life? Because we've covered this. This is something we dug deep into. This is the hardest point for you.
This is part of the layers.
Yeah.
Because I was the black sheep of a different sort. And my mom really didn't show me that love and affection that I needed. So in my relationships, it was almost like trying to find a replacement, because I didn't get it from my mom. And it was that's always a struggle when you're going through life and you're asking yourself that question. Gee whiz, this isn't right, and why? And sometimes it goes again in those generational curses, where probably my folks, my grandparents were probably the same way, and that's the reason why my folks were the way they were.
Yeah. Yep. And so then you find yourself in a marriage where you're fighting to get the love and attention and the things that you wanted, and you found yourself in a situation where the betrayal and all of the things that you experienced as a young man with your mother, you're now experiencing with your wife. It's why we've had to do this work. It's why Darren and I have been working together concerning the coaching. We even dealt with narcissistic parents, and that opened my eyes and your eyes, right? Looking at, because we don't think about our parents as narcissists. We think about our parents as our parents. That's my mother, right? But then when we started watching these videos and doing this work, we were like, wait a minute. Talk about that, because you had some major epiphanies during that. Talk about that.
When we watched, I think it was 3 videos over the course of 2 weeks.
Yes.
And I'm watching it and I'm like, oh my goodness, that's my parents. And you just, it was almost like, wow, where you see it and you don't, and you're still just a shock.
Yeah.
Where some people, our parents, not some of them knowing and some of them not knowing, will pit child for child against parent, and do that subconsciously because that's all they know. They wasn't taught right. So when you wasn't taught right, you go by what you see. You go by what you've been trained.
Yeah. And so how has this work in the coaching that I do and Beyond Fatherless coaching, how has it helped you heal? Healing is still a process, right? It's the onion.
Healing is still a
But how has it
process.
helped you heal? Because we've been doing this, it's 7 months now?
7 months.
8 months, yeah, 7, 8 months when we really got started. How has this helped you heal?
I'm grateful. I'm grateful for you, Dr. Tori. I'm grateful for my therapist, and y'all work together and y'all talk and y'all piggyback stuff.
Wait, they need to hear that. I tell y'all need a coach and a therapist. And Darren, he did a whole spreadsheet, introduced everybody to each other from his lawyer to some of the other people, his team, as he called it. And so Tiffany and I got together and started coordinating how we can work together to help him through this journey of divorce and custody, but also healing, just so you guys know. So go ahead, Darren. I'm sorry.
And it is the point of healing. I mean, it's like a roller coaster in itself. And it's like different roller coasters, because you have a roller coaster of the emotional, you have a roller coaster of the mental, you have the roller coaster of the psychological, and you have the roller coaster of the spiritual. So going through a life coach and a therapist has helped me balance the roller coaster.
What?
I mean, it's just
now.
Where stuff 2 years ago, it would have set me off. It happens now. I look at it, I process it. Say, man, there's nothing that I can do. What I can do, I control what I can control, and what I can't let it bother me, because there's way bigger fish to fry. I got a daughter who is in need of her dad and is being told that her dad pretty much doesn't exist, that she can't talk to her dad.
Can we talk about that just a little bit?
Yeah, we sure can.
Okay. So Darren remember I told you guys, Darren was a single father for 11 years. And in being a single father for 11 years, when he got married, he then had a son with his wife. His daughter is now 20, right? She'll be 20?
She'll be 20 in December.
In December. She's 19, but she'll be 20. And so as this divorce is happening, she's a minor, but she's just on the cusp of being an adult. And so the courts allow somehow his daughter to stay in the home with the now ex-wife. And the now ex-wife is telling the daughter, because there was some domestic things that went on. And Darren was trying to be a father to his daughter because she was making some really bad decisions. And it's all written out in the court documents. I'm not taking anybody's sides. It is in court documents. She was in a really bad situation in a relationship. And that goes into some of the stuff Darren was talking about. As a father, as a parent, he was doing some things that, he realizes now that's not how a daughter needs to be raised. He gets it now. But he was really doing it out of trying to protect her and love her and show her love. But how it came off was something different. She was in a bad relationship. It was a really bad situation. And he was trying to tell her, I'm going to choke you out if you do this again. Like, basically, that's where it went. I'm trying to stop you. I'm trying to help you. But if I have to, as a parent says, if I have to lock you in a room, if I have to do whatever I have to do to keep you from this person, to save you, that's what I'm going to do. And that's what he was doing. Well, come to find out, police got called, all these things happened. And now this woman is keeping his daughter in another relationship from him, having her believe that her father doesn't want to see her and that her father cannot see her because of court order. The court order with that is done. This woman is now telling her that that's what it is. He even tried to go see her at work. Now the woman made the young lady quit her job so that he can't show up at work to see her. So this is what Darren is dealing with, and this is what the therapist and I are working through. But he is now having access to his son. And I believe the access to his son is going to initiate his daughter wanting to see him as well. So that is because the son going to come home and be like, I have fun with daddy, right? In whatever conversation is being had, because there's limited conversations Darren thinks are being had. But nonetheless, that's where that is. So Go ahead, Darren. I'm sorry.
And that's the sad thing about generational curses, where when we were watching the videos, and we literally have either parents or step parents, and try to pit the children against each other to fit your agenda.
Ooh.
And that's just wrong. And there's a special place for those in this life or the next. And that's just the unfortunate part of it. When I'm able to see my son, I go through that roller coaster. I'm happy as all get out to see him, and I hate to see him leave because he doesn't want to leave. He gives me a hug, and he gives me that tight hug, like, Daddy, what's going on? And it's sad when we have people who truly try to pit a child against a parent.
But guess what? You have this because you saw it in your upbringing.
Truly.
This is what you had. And we've done this work too, where Darren has divulged the information that I needed, and I knew it anyway. And then he finally started telling me about who the woman, that he married, his ex-wife, what her upbringing was like. And guess what, you guys? She was fatherless. Her mother's dominating. Her mother's controlling. Her mother's she has that same pattern that Darren's mother more than likely had. Darren can't even get the information about who his parents are to even have that compassion, because they're passed on. And he's told me, no, ain't nobody sharing that, Tori. I've tried to ask, they're not sharing it. But Darren had to have a place of compassion while still being in a place of rage and wanting some get back. Trust me, I had talked Darren off some get back multiple times. Multiple times. He was like, oh, I'm going to sue her. Like, it was multiple ideas he was coming up with. And I would talk him down off the ledge on Monday nights. Monday nights is when the fatherhood group meets. And by next Monday, he was back on the ledge, and I had to get him down again.
Yeah. It's amazing how people, whether it's moms or whether it's dads, but it's a lot of times it's the moms that will pit the system against our dads. And then when they get older, when they get 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and the child starts smelling themselves, now the question is, hey, where's your dad? And then the mom said, well, hey, your dad wasn't there. Your dad wasn't this. Your dad wasn't that. When the mom just wasn't being honest with the child. Hey, I ran your dad off. Ooh. And some people just aren't going to be that honest because they don't want that child to see you at a point of weakness. And that's when you really strengthen a child. Hey, I messed up. With my daughter, when it didn't work out with her mom, I waited till she was about 12, 13. And I really sat her down. It's like, there's a reason why your mom and I aren't together. And I had to say the stuff that she did, and I had to own up the stuff that I did. It's like, well, Daddy, why? And I'm like, you know what? Young and dumb. And I was on my own page instead of trying to communicate and do right.
And now it's more than young and dumb.
Yeah.
It's patterns, right? Because let's talk about this triangulation. I told Darren I was keeping him less than 5 minutes.
Oh, girl, come on, let's go. Let's have fun.
But we're on that triangulation between a mother, a court system, and a father. It doesn't start there, you guys. It started in her childhood when she watched her mother. Like Darren is talking about, well, my mother actually did a triangulation between me and my siblings, and also between you and your father when it comes to your brother and the child that she wanted. And triangulation is happening way before ladies make it to the courts, people. They've learned how to pin and pawn and do all of these things from their upbringing. And in learning how to do these things, they find themselves going, okay, well, this didn't work. It's like playing chess. It's a game of chess to see who can actually win, because this is the behavior you learned at home. It's what you learned in your childhood. And many of you have to break the cycle by throwing out everything you were taught in your childhood. And most of you won't do it. And you carry it into your marriage. Don't talk to nobody. Don't tell nobody your business. Why are there marriage coaches and marriage therapists when you're not supposed to tell anyone your business? And you're getting this from bitter mothers and bitter fathers, because men are bitter too, people. You're getting marriage advice from bitter mamas and bitter daddies who don't have a relationship of their own. And they're telling you how to do it. They've been divorced 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and they can't. But you're taking advice from them, and you're carrying the things that they taught you in your childhood into your adult life, into your marriage, and it didn't even work for them. And you don't
Misery
even know
loves
it.
company, bro. Misery
Because misery
loves
loves
company.
company. You don't realize your parents are dragging you into the same miserable life they have. How dare Darren, like if you could tell someone why they should work with me, because that's where I'm gonna end it, because I got to get off of here by 10. I got Darren. You know I got homework to do still, right?
Yes, I know you got homework.
That's
You gotta
why
get them books.
I postponed our our coaching session until tomorrow night, because I got to finish this stuff up. And Darren, he pulled out he's an Alpha Phi Alpha like my husband. He pulled out his paddle last week. He was like, "You didn't get it done yet." He was like, "Do not make me come for you." All my people are like, "You can't let life get you like that, Tori. You got to focus. You got to put it in compartments." Someone was thinking about working with me. What would you tell him? And I haven't asked him this question, and I ain't prepped and primed. What would you tell him?
Some people can't handle the truth.
Ooh.
And if you're cut from that tree, then go somewhere else. if you want the truth, and sometimes the truth is bitter. Sometimes it just doesn't taste right. If you want the truth, hey, it was a godsend that one of my lodge brothers referred me to Dr. Tori. And he said, "Hey, DJ, she's the truth. She's not gonna sugarcoat it. She's gonna tell you the truth. No ifs, ands, or buts. And sometimes you might like it, sometimes you might not. But she's gonna tell you the truth to help you heal." And I know I'm in a better place now than I was 6 months ago, 8 months ago, 12 months ago, 1 month ago.
Yeah.
Because there were moments where and Dr. Tori and I, we talked about this. There was a point where I hit that level of frustration like most fathers do when the mom is being mom, for whatever you want to take it, and then the court system is being the court system. Our court systems do not want to see fatherhood exist. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. So that's the reason why it's there. It's a cash cow, and it's sad that we don't understand that. Our court system and family court is not for us. It wasn't designed to help us. It was designed to spread us further apart. And some people can't understand that. So when you're going through the therapy and you're going through the life lessons and you're understanding your truth and your faults. And again, in the beginning, I was kind of difficult. I can admit it, because we
had a buffer though, and I like the buffer. We had some other difficult people on the call too.
Yeah.
Your difficult wasn't as difficult.
True. Comparing the two, very true.
Yes, it wasn't as difficult.
Comparing the two. But again, I had to check myself first. I had to check myself first, because how can I be a better father to my daughter and to my son if I can't check myself first? So I got to forgive myself first. I got to get my own self right, because if I don't have myself right, my kids are no good to me. Because they need their dad.
Pause on that. Now, before you came on here, I don't think you weren't in the thing.
But I wasn't on the call, so I just
you heard from nothing. But what did I tell y'all? I said forgiving yourself is first. Darren said it. Clearly, my coaching works. But I need you to hear that, because there's so much baggage we're carrying as fatherless individuals. Yep, Darren's father was in the home, but he was emotionally absent. Darren felt just as fatherless, if not worse, than so many who, good night, Catherine, as so many who grew up fatherless. Like he felt abandoned in his own home. I think that's a worse experience than not knowing your father at all. I think it's a worse experience having a father in the home. He's emotionally absent and you can't get that emotional tie from him that you need. And he's right there. He's right there. And the other individuals on the call had the same journey. Like they had the same, and it's impacting their fatherhood. Well, Darren, I want to thank you for coming on, joining me tonight.
No problem.
We're gonna get some people to jump on the coaching. And I wanted the man to start it first. I did. Because men don't think that they need this healing work. They don't think they need to identify their daddy issues, their father wound. You need it.
We got the band together because we have to understand that despite what society is saying, children need their dad. Despite what all of these movements are saying, despite what all of these sororities and organizations are saying, people need their dad. Period. You need your dad.
That's one of our hashtags. That's one of our hashtags. Yeah, we need our fathers. We need our fathers, and we post those pictures of dads interacting with their children because we all need our fathers. So, Darren, thank you for jumping on here with me, and I'll see you tomorrow night because that's when we go do our coaching.
Hey, I could be a permanent co-host if you need me.
Yeah.
We can do this all the time.
Wait a minute. Y'all always try to. We'll have to talk about this later.
Yeah.
On the spot, y'all. People be straight on the spot.
I'll be the sidekick. Hey, I don't mind playing Robin. It's all good.
He said I can be the sidekick. I got
you.
Well, I'll let the people vote on how they feel about that.
Okay.
Then we'll talk about it tomorrow night. All right. But
all right,
you for joining me tonight. All right.
Hey, thank you for inviting me.
All right. Bye-bye. So, all right, you guys. We just saw that. We just had that conversation. And I wanted to talk to you guys about the Beyond Fatherless coaching. That's a part of why I'm doing the I've Got Daddy Issues Redeeming Your Fatherless Story. Part of that is you're going to need a little more than what you're going to get in a 3-day challenge. And I wanted the man to set the pace because so often men don't think they need healing. They don't think they need this work. And yes, I'm a truth teller to a fault, but I also tell myself the truth. I don't lie to myself. So don't think that I'm out here telling, we got people who tell it like it is and they don't tell themselves like it is, right? No, that's not my journey. What I want you to do, because we've talked about the 2 things that you have to do. Number 1, you have to initiate your healing. Now that you've acknowledged it, now that you have recognized it and you're starting to be, go in the areas of thinking, right? Cherie said the work is thought provoking. Now that you're in that space, now I want you to initiate it, start moving towards your healing. You're not avoiding it. You're no longer in a place where you're saying, this didn't happen. My father was present, whatever denial tactics you've been using. And now you're going to find yourself in a place of, after you initiate it, you're going to start forgiving. I want you to realize that once again, forgiveness is towards yourself and towards your parents. We're talking about a father wound, so we're going to stick to the father wound. And you're going to talk to that place. That may require you to call, have a visit, write a letter. I do want you to write 2 letters this week. I want you to write 2 letters tonight. I do. These don't have to be long letters, but I want you to spend some time writing a letter to yourself about forgiving yourself and writing a letter to your father. I want you to write the letter to yourself, and the letter talks about just how you've treated yourself throughout this journey. And be honest. How has growing up fatherless caused you to treat yourself? Have you self-sabotaged a lot? Have you not walked in your purpose and your vision because of fear, or you don't think you're good enough? Do you feel like an imposter in your own body and in your own journey? Have you attracted and allowed some real bad losers and abusers into your life and into your journey? I want you to write that down. I want you to be real with yourself tonight. And then I want you to write a letter to your father. How has his absence has impacted your life? What did he miss out on? What questions did you want to ask him? Those are the things I want you to do tonight. I know it's 10 o'clock. You can do it in the morning. This is a 3-day challenge. And in 3 days, you're not going to get it all done all fast. It's still going to take some time. But I want you to do this work. This work is going to help you really heal some of the dark, broken places in your life, but it's also going to heal places in your subconscious you don't even realize are in the driver's seat. As you begin to write that letter to yourself and share what's on the inside of you, you're going to see who's really driving. You're going to see. And as you do that, I want you to pray as we have been talking. One of the ways that we're walking through this 3-day challenge is we do have a scripture that we're standing on. We have a scripture that we are referencing throughout the day, throughout the whole 3 days, and we stand on it. It's Psalm 147, and it's verse 3. He heals the brokenhearted and he binds up their wounds. We're talking about a father wound. God binds up your wound. And one of the things that happens that I want you to realize is when someone's binding up a wound, right? They're putting ointment on it. They're putting things on it to help it heal faster. And in the midst of that, that can be neosporin, whatever the doctor is going to use. They may give you a shot to keep it from being infected. These things hurt though, right? But another thing about binding, when it says he binds up their wounds, when you bind up something, you make it whole again. And I am telling you that you are going to be whole again as you walk through this journey, as you go through this journey over the next 3 days. We're done. You guys have made it through day 1. And yes, we've incorporated this with Healing Tuesdays, but you've made it through day 1 of redeeming your fatherless story. You made it through day 1. Yeah, it's emotional. Let all of those emotions come to the surface. Cry. Because I know many are crying. Cry. It's okay. Crying is not a bad thing. Crying is healing. So cry. Allow the next couple of days to be the place where you cry and you actually say, you know what? I have been in pain. Acknowledge the pain. Stop acting like it's not happening. You don't feel it. Stop it. Because it's playing out. I'm telling you, it's in the driver's seat. But you're going to figure that out here in a minute. As you're going to figure it out as you write these letters. So I've given you the homework assignment for those of you who have not joined the I've Got Daddy Issues group on our the Fatherless Generation Foundation's page. Join the group. That's where you're going to see the homework and the exercises and the memes and all of the stuff that you need to see. Yes, this video is in there. I will not be broadcasting from the Fatherless Generation Foundation page concerning the rest of it, but I did it tonight, number one, because I ain't figured out how to get in that group through StreamYard. And then number two, I knew I needed to do Healing Tuesday, so I just incorporated the two. But do the work, get into the group, do the work, do the healing, get into the group, and it doesn't cost you anything. Coaching does cost you. You can go to beyondfatherless.com, and that's where you're going to see the coaching packages and the coaching pricing. Those prices, as they say, what's the term now? The old price is not the same, the new price or whatever. I have to figure that because I've heard it multiple times. It ain't the same price no more. And so I'm leaving that up there for now because there's a lot of training and growth that I'm doing. And as soon as that happens, that price is going to change tremendously and those packages are going to change. It's going to be one package, one situation, and then there will be one monthly group, but that's it. I'm not going to be doing all of these other things because it distracts from the other stuff that I need to do. But if you want to join, go to beyondfatherless.com and I'll get you into a group, and we have women who are going to come on and talk about their journey. I saw Dawn. She showed up for a minute. Dawn, hopefully I can get you on tomorrow. It'll be Dawn or Freedom. And but everyone's going to, there's people who are going to come on and share with you about the work that we've been doing. Dawn and I and Freedom, we've been working together for a year. And Dawn was just in Forbes magazine and she highlighted little old me. And the work that we've been doing and how it's changed her life tremendously. So just know, I'm not here. I'm a horrible promoter. I really am of myself. But I know my coaches are like, you got to promote, you got to promote, you got to promote. Because I have a gift and I have something for you that can truly help you. And who am I not to tell you about it? Who am I not to help you understand by bringing people on who have been, in the coaching and who are getting the things that they need. So I'm going to get off of here. I am Dr. Tori J. I am your fatherless reunification expert, and I am your healing coach. I am your state certified mediator, your speaker, and your author. And it is an honor that I can use my voice and even my own father wound and my pain of being alienated from my father to help you heal your father wound as well. All right. You guys have an amazing night. And I will see those of you who are a part of the challenge. I'll see you tomorrow. All right. Have a great night. Bye-bye.